we obviously talk a ton about sales process, right?
Yeah.
It is
process.
The quality to our success is defined within our process, right? But what can salespeople do to differentiate themselves from other salespeople? How can they add value? Like, we're huge on adding value to all of our clients and every human being we interact with. But like, what can salespeople do to differentiate themselves from every other sales professional in the country, in the world, to add value and personalize their process to each buyer that walks through the door?
So let me give you, so think about a sales process as a recipe, okay? So think about a recipe to make chocolate chip cookies. So if I go online right now, there's a million recipes on how to make chocolate chip cookies. All of them will make a chocolate chip cookie. Most of them are pretty standard. Get the flour, get the eggs, get the chocolate chips, get the brown sugar, and make chocolate chip cookies. Now, your recipe will make chocolate chip cookies. But that's not, like, following somebody else's recipe isn't what makes you unique. That just makes a good chocolate chip cookie. You have, EEA, which is our process. You have, 4-2 formula. You have the 13 decisions. You have Myers-Briggs scripts. There's a million processes, right? Okay. What makes you unique is you have your recipe, but just like any food recipe, it's the things that you don't see in the recipe that separate you. The little dash of nutmeg over here. Or I sprinkle you, like when you get your grandmother's recipe, like, oh, I added a little bit of honey. Nobody really knows that, the secret ingredient, right? It's those dashes of surprise that you don't know that you put in there. Value is this. Value is that thing that you really can't have a process to. Now, most people will disagree with me, but you can't have a process. I don't think you can have a value-driven process. And the reason why is because of this. There's only two ways to deliver value in this world. Only two. One is to give people more of what they want or need than they expect. Two is to remove pain or obstacles that's stopping them from getting what they want or need. That's how you deliver value. And the challenge is it's very opportunistic. In the moment, you have to see an opportunity to provide value. In the moment, when it happens. And once that moment passes you, you miss that opportunity. I'll give you a great example. We do things here that in the moment we're like, oh, this is exactly it. I'll give you a great example. You were on the call. Well, you know this, but you were on the call with one of our owners who was going to Napa for the first time. And the next day or later that day, without being asked, you sent him a list of all your favorite places in Napa, what you thought about them, how to get to it, links to the restaurants, links to the wineries, to make it easy for him. Okay? You didn't have to do that. You're not a travel agent. You don't get paid to be a travel agent. You saw an opportunity and took advantage of it. That's value. That's the dash of nutmeg. Most people create a process and they stick right to their process, or they try to make value part of their process, like these value adds part of the process. The challenge is when you make it part of your process, it becomes your standard process. So if going forward, every time one of our owners goes on vacation, you now are going to give do the same thing. Well, that just becomes part of our process, which means it's no more than what they expect. It is what they expect. So value is one of those things that you have to keep on raising the game. The more you do, it then becomes, you do something, now it becomes part of the process. You do something, value add, it becomes part of the process. You have to constantly be looking for ways to deliver value. And I think that's the differentiator that most salespeople don't do. They do exactly what they're supposed to do. They do it really, really well. They do it even exceptionally. But that's following the recipe that is already predetermined. Find the ways to add the nutmeg. Find the ways to make your recipe different that makes it your secret ingredient, and that is taking advantage of the opportunities presented to you to provide value.